Yes, good afternoon and good evening from my end. It is exactly 51 minutes, 9 minutes at 1 p.m., 51 minutes past 8 p.m. And of course, karibuni, karibuni. Some of you guys are doing great. I hope you are having a wonderful time at work. And of course, your second week of the month of January is driving you amazing. Shout out to you, Light Too Long. I see you in the building. Shout out to John. Shout out to Princess. Shout out to everyone with us on TikTok. Everyone with us on the radio station. Everyone with me on Spreaker, on Rumble, and also those who are joining via the YouTube channel. Karibuni sana once again. I go by the name Joby. In case this is your first time right here, kindly consider subscribing and of course check out our previous conversations that we are bringing straight, coming from different parts of the African continent. Karibuni sana. Today we shall be having an amazing conversation. Shout out to you, official Mokeli. Shout out to Cynthia. Hope you guys are doing great. Today shall be talking about the U.S. Department suing Texas over the law of allowing police to arrest illegal migrants. I believe this is a discussion that we did have last week when it came to Obama saying that also illegal migrants are allowed to vote, and which is super, super crazy because I questioned how are you allowed to vote when you're not a citizen? That is super illegal. How are you allowed to vote when you don't have an identification card? It is super, super crazy. Shout out to you also, Tom and Jerry. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing great this amazing afternoon. So we shall be discussing about that and also what California did also speak on last week on also ensuring health, rather giving health insurance to still the same people, the illegal migrants. And of course, this is going to be brought up by because if you look at all this, we know the Black people again are the ones whose life is on the line, who have been affected so much. So I want to take us back because today, actually, it being the 8th of January, it is a very historical moment, or a very historical day to majority of the New Orleans, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, New Orleans, and I think the Louisiana people during the 8th of January, that was in 1811, we had a very historic, the biggest slave revolt that did start in the United States. So I want to be taking us down the line. I'll be sharing a video which actually comes up with a lot of information and a book that gives the true facts of what conspired, what happened. I didn't know actually of this day. I discovered this earlier today and I got very interested. I did a couple of research by looking, of course, at a couple of videos, and shout out to Keith for teaching me how to, being able to understand which is in which information is given out correctly and which isn't, because it took me time before I found and tapped into a brother who's I think he was also doing a show of his and explaining down to people of how important this history and how important this history is and how it is supposed to be taught, especially to Black people, and which is never taught, because I've never known of this kind of a history right here. I don't know, maybe majority of you do know, I bet so, but for me this is something new, and of course I'm gonna be learning. So on this day, which is the 1811th, on this day in 1811, the largest slave uprising in the U.S. got underway in what is present day Louisiana, and that's led by Charles, an enslaved laborer from the enslaved plantation. Over 500 Africans from diverse backgrounds sought to capture New Orleans and create a new republic. Inspired by the Haitian Revolution, the rebels intended to form a slave army liberate thousands of enslaved individuals in Louisiana and overthrew the system of slavery. But despite their determination, the revolt was quelled. But brute force 3 days in, many leaders were captured, tried, and executed. Their heads displayed in poles along the river and intimidate others. This is intimidate others. In the sense that the sacrifice of these heroes were not in vain. The uprising reverted humanity and weakened the situation of slavery. Subsequent revolts were inspired, and it set the stage for the Civil War. And the descendants of the 8/11 revolt contributed significantly to the Union Army during the Civil War, with Louisiana providing over 28,000 soldiers. These ancestors exemplified courage and dedication, understanding that the emancipation of everyone is crucial for individual freedom. That is super, super true, because I was listening to the video of the brother, how he's explaining and breaking it down, and I got to understand what really conspired here, which is super, super painful. This history we've never been taught, and for me, I think it makes me kind of a little bit sad when I come to discover that we had, I've seen of where our history of where our ancestors or Black people, I don't know in which chapter of history it is, where we had our people being hanged on trees and all that. But it is so, so sad to see, just because of seeking freedom, which we keep on seeing even in today's Africa of today and today's world, Africans are still struggling for this position where everyone individually being involved in fighting for freedom. It's a cost of life, and which is super, super crazy. So I'll be sharing the video. I don't know if Keith is going to be able to join us, because I told him we're going to be live by 9 p.m. but I came in just 10 minutes earlier. So I hope he's going to be able to tune in as we get to understand and learn a few things together. And of course, shout out to you also, Andrew Robinson. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing great. And of course, happy, amazing, and blessed Wednesday. Monday. I'm already at Wednesday. God damn. Have a blessed Monday, and of course, a beautiful week. And I hope New Year is driving you amazing. And of course, Happy New Year. I've not seen you since last year, but Happy New Year to you. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if you know the history of 1811 that happened on 8th of January. That was on 8th of January 1811, where we had this large slave revolt that did take place in the United States, and of course where we had majority of our people's head being chopped and all that. So I want to share this very quickly as we get to understand the thing or two, and I hope for your family we can be able to also learn that. So let me share this. Let me also tell Kit that we are live, so we can be able, maybe I want to be able to be broken down a few points if he's going to be able to join in. All right. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. You're saying Happy New Year to you too. And you asked Joby the best for all the best for 2064. Thank you. I wish you all the best as well. And also Happy New Year to Light Too Long. Nice to see you as well. I hope you guys, it's really driving you amazing. And I wish you nothing but just a blessed one. Okay, let me forward it a little bit faster.
Make it a number one if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
This book details you see on the screen. So this book that you see on the screen is called, is my thing showing still? Or is this lagging over here? I'm trying to make sure that all of this.
So I think it's a man, it's a black man who was explaining this, because I can tell from his accent. And he was also, I think, doing a show probably on StreamYard, because this is how I know actually the story is kind of, involves a lot of facts, because his video has very less views, and unlike most of the videos that have gone through done by white people, which is full of bunch of lies, it have millions of views. So I went to the low quality or less viewed video, and which actually I believe has a lot of information, where it goes by revealing what is in this book. So pay attention.
This is good, man.
And also write down on the comment section anything you understand that I'll be able to also learn, because we're learning together.
Do you guys still see that blue screen? Okay, you see another screen. I'm good. All right. So this book is called American Uprising: The Untold Story of the Slave Revolt by Daniel Rasuian. So here, this book details this in detail, but why I like this book is because it goes into depth of the lives and the people and how it was started. So it begins every year on January 6th. The King's Ball marked the kickoff of the carnival season that culminated in Mardi Gras. The ball featured the cutting of a cake in which a bean had been hidden amid dancing music, and revealers would celebrate
Shout out to you, Bamba 10. Shout out to Ivy, Jesh.
the election of a king and a queen on the 12 cakes and drink prodigious amounts of alcohol. As the planters celebrate Epiphany, 500 or 600 African men and women from New Orleans and its environs gathered in the common. Some of their faces bore the ritual facial scars and foul teeth of the Congo. Others, the tattoos of the Asante Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. So every year on 6th of January, the King Ball marked the kickoff of the carnival season that accumulated in Mardi Gras. The ball featured the cutting of a cake in which a beam had been hidden. Amid dancing and music, the revealers would celebrate the election of a king and queen of the 12th cake and drink prodigious amount of alcohol. Let's continue.
Carnivals are important because these are the times that we were allowed to come together, but you will have people dancing, you'll have people doing parades, you'll have people dressing up in masquerades. But what happens here is these people...
I think perfect example of I'm understanding from this is when we had Keith explaining to me where we have in some parts of Brazil where we still have people practicing African cultures and traditions. And I think we shared that on one of the shows of the Africa Today show where we had, we saw the culture of some countries still practice the African cultures, like the Brazil. We have Black people who still practice the traditional dances, which unites them together. And I think that is what I'm trying to understand from this particular perspective right here. I hope I am correct.
Who are allowed to practice their Pacific culture. But being that we're able to come together on this day and really not supervised, things take place. So now the participants formed dancing circles around one central king, where two women danced, holding handkerchiefs with the tips of their fingers. An old man sat on top of this cylindrical drum about a foot in diameter, beating the canvas quickly with the edge of his hand. Several others held drums between their knees, producing incredible explosions of percussive sound. A grizzled man of not less than 80 years of age played an African stringed instrument. So you heard me speak about this.
Shout out to you, Ayodi. Shout out to Maurice. Shout out to Bamba 10 once again. Shout out to MC Yobra. Let me know what you understand about the 8/11 history. Are you aware of the 8/11 history if you're right here on TikTok and you're tuned in? Because that's what I'm sharing here. In case you're tuning in and you're wondering, what am I listening to, or rather, what am I sharing? I'm sharing the history because today, it being the 8th of January, there is a historical moment that took place that was in the United States. And this one, we had the biggest slave revolt that did happen in what we call right now Louisiana, if I'm getting it correctly. So I wanted to share this today, and because we shall be talking about having illegal migrants, where we have the U.S. Department suing other countries because of them, passing the law of allowing police officers to arrest them, and where we also have California passing the insurance of health to also the same illegal migrants. Like, when you look at all this issue, because this is, if I'm trying to understand so well, Black people were seeking freedom. Black people were fighting for freedom. Like, what has changed? Because nothing has changed. And I was watching a certain video where we have the white men trying to review this history and how they feel that they're saying that they're celebrating and remembering this. I'm like, you are not the one who's supposed to. What what do you mean you what? Because it's not even in any books. What do you mean this is a historical moment we live to remember? Those are white people. This should come from Black people. So in case you're tuning in also on YouTube, Karibu Sana, and also for those who are with us on Facebook, rather on the radio station. In case you're wondering what I'm sharing again, this is the 1811 largest slave revolt that took place in the United States, in the New Orleans, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly.
This instrument in the last presentation.
I see MC Robert is saying that I'm tuned in live from Siaya. Big up team Silver Sound. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, welcome to the Africa Today show. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. And I go by the name Joby.
That extended from the ground to over his head. Women sang African folk songs while walking rhythmically around the drummers. The sounds of Africa rocked this Pacific city. The square, which we was known as Congo Square, burst with color. The men came wrapped in traditional coastal African garb, brightly dyed robes wrapped around otherwise naked bodies. The women boasted their latest fashion, sporting clothes made of silk, dyed.
All right, there goes Keith. Karibu sana, Keith.
Asante sana, Joby.
Shout out to you, Congo Monk. Hope you're doing amazing. Are you listening from Congo, or where are you? And also to those who are tuning in, because I see you are adding up on YouTube and also on Facebook. I'm sharing. I'm saying today we shall be talking about the U.S. Department suing Texas over them allowing the police officers to allow to arrest illegal migrants.
Together, exactly. That's because, you're gonna have. I told you, the country's gonna go to civil war because these people don't want all these legal aliens in here, and the states are separate. See, America, if everybody don't understand it, it'd be just like Africa. Let's say you had Kenya, Nigeria, and they'd be created a United States of Africa. Kenya would still maintain its sovereignty. And if laws were not in the benefit of Kenya, they could say no to the United States of Africa. Same way Texas is saying no to the damn federal government. Said, nah, we don't want these illegal aliens because they know what they're doing. The UN, along with the people that run this planet, have flooded America with these illegal aliens. And Texas is saying, since Texas is on the border, they're saying no more. We're going to start locking these people up. We're not going to allow you to have these people that keep coming in our country, coming to Texas. We can't afford these illegal aliens. They destroyed our infrastructure. Too much of our infrastructure. You know, the money that you're giving their ass, don't nobody got no jobs. And now we find that they're taking money from the Veterans Administration too. So understand, family, this is the collapsing of the country. Like I told you, they couldn't raise China until they collapsed America. Now everything I told you years ago is no more tinfoil hat stuff. It's reality. In order for them to create their new world order, they must implode America. They must destroy it. And that's what you see happening now. At any cost. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we shall be talking about that, and I had already just started. I think you caught me 20 minutes just ahead, but we shall just continue. Together with that, we shall be talking about what California also did last week by also giving them health insurance. And since today it is the 8th of January.
California is broke. We don't got no money for our own people. You got people in the streets. Do me a favor while you're showing that. Go to YouTube real quick. Go to YouTube real quick and say, go to YouTube, say homeless in Los Angeles, California. I would say the whole state of California, but let's just use my hometown for an example. Homeless in Los Angeles, California. Type that in YouTube search and pull up any one of these videos. You don't got money to get people off the street. but you got money for illegal aliens to get them health care. But we don't ain't got it. We can't afford to go to the goddamn doctor. Understand what they're doing, fam. It's no more gaslighting and lies to you no more. Yeah, just show any video. It's all disturbing. They don't got no health care, and they American citizens. They born here. But California, somebody gonna give legal aliens health care for free. You got people on the street can't even wash their own ass.
I could show you all the palm trees, beautiful beaches.
Yeah.
But if I don't show you this, then I don't show you Los Angeles, because this
That's
is very
right.
much
Don't show me all the beautiful beaches of LA. We already know the beautiful beaches out there. Show us the grimy, the real part. Don't show me no beautiful beaches. I'm not like Joby. I don't give a damn about no beach.
LA. Not all the people that you see here on Skid Row are on drugs. There's plenty of people that are sober, plenty of people that, you know, have just found.
Yeah, they're sober. They don't got no money. They're broke.
Now, the city of Los Angeles has
They're
tried
broke. Nobody goddamn being on drugs. People don't got no money to afford no housing. They're broke.
I had to clean this up many of times. However, they have failed consistently. Like, what is that man doing? Look at him. Only
Probably pissing out there.
Like, what's going on here?
Hey.
Oh my God! Look at the homie.
Oh my.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Damn.
Hey! I see you, bro. I see you.
Oh my God.
Hey!
Look at moon,
I
bro.
see you, bro. Hey, that's Jesus, baby. Hey, that's hard. I got the moves, bro. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another beautiful day here in Southern California. Today I'm in downtown Los Angeles, and today we're actually going to go on a little drive around Skid Row, one of the most densely populated homeless communities.
Now my father took me down there when I was a kid. Talking about, if you don't study, you don't do what you're supposed to do in school, this way you're gonna end up at. I'm like, damn, if I'm all fucked up, you're not gonna help me. Here's what you're gonna end up. You don't study, you don't want to do your homework. This is how your life gonna be. Like, where you gonna be at? You gonna let me be all fucked
Los
up?
Angeles. This is a beautiful area. It has a lot to offer, a lot of trendy cafes, restaurants. They got the jewelry district, the flower district, fashion district. There's a lot to do here in downtown Los Angeles, but unfortunately, over the past couple decades, it has really fallen apart, and it's turned into, you know, not the most beautiful area of the city, and
that it used
not
to be
the most desirable to walk around, which is quite unfortunate because over the course of the last few years, they've tried to recover the downtown area here in Los Angeles. They've tried to make it one of those trendy places where people want to come and walk around.
Beautiful,
but
but
time
no.
and time again, you know, it continues to fail. They keep trying
People
to
broke.
save all small businesses, but unfortunately, due to the high crime rates and homeless population in the area, businesses tend to continue to shut down and, you know, not prosper to their full potential.
You can't do
which
business
is
there.
quite sad, but unfortunately part of the reality here in Los Angeles. Now, the architecture of downtown LA is one of the main reasons why I love coming down here. I mean, look at all of these old theaters that you can tell at one point in time were extremely
Now remember,
trendy.
LA was started by black Africans. Remember that. Los Angeles City was started by African people. They don't own shit. They don't own none of it no more. None
Across
of
the
it.
city, the tents
Look at it. Here
stretch
we go.
everywhere.
Here you go.
From Hollywood to Venice Beach, scenes from what could be a disaster movie.
All the way to
Now,
Venice
a seemingly
Beach now.
permanent
Damn.
fixture on the
It's
streets of
all the
Los
way up to
Angeles.
Venice Beach.
If you
Wow.
get shocked,
If you guys don't know LA, Venice Beach is on the northern side of LA. It's all the way up to Venice Beach now. Wow. What? It wasn't even, wow, man. That's crazy. Anytime I give health care to illegal aliens, and you got people on the street with, you know, with funky assholes. Go ahead.
I don't know what you would be shocked by.
When COVID first hit, the city stopped large-scale cleanups at most encampments to keep the virus from spreading. That's when residents say things
Look back.
changed.
People
That's why they
shooting
didn't
up,
die. Have you had COVID? Why they
urinating
didn't
out
die?
in the open,
Urinating,
vomiting.
doodling,
Officials here
doodling,
last
vomiting,
counted more than
doodle.
66,000
Crazy.
experiencing homelessness in January 2020. But that was before the pandemic struck, and hundreds of thousands of Angelenos lost their jobs. Since then,
Exactly.
our partners on NBC LA's
Not everybody's
investigative
on
team
drugs.
have
People lost
captured these
jobs.
images, showing a
So when you
situation
get
spiraling out of
African
control.
people, send me money, send me money. No, you send me money, moron. I'm broke and out in the streets. What are you talking about? I seen these damn African immigrants in America about their families ignoring them. They send me money. I need iPhone. Can you imagine? We can't afford iPhones in America. Exactly. We pay for them on credit. Pay $25 a month for like 3 years to buy it. African people, your minds are messed up. You know how the world is. This is Simba. You living in your lavish lifestyle in America. What? What? Go ahead, Jovi. Go ahead.
Oh, trash spilling into traffic, tents taking over intersections, stretches of the iconic Venice boardwalk now resembling a refugee
It's always
camp.
in Venice now.
It's a reality
God
no
damn.
one is
Oh, it's the
comfortable
Venice
with.
Beach.
This is my home.
Janelle Grace has been homeless for 3 years.
This city has a lot of cleaning up to do. They're doing it so wrong. They're making it harder for us to want to even do any better for ourselves.
A few blocks away, restaurant owner Janet Zuccarini also feels betrayed.
It's a problem for people living under these conditions. And it's a problem for people living in this area, visiting in this area, and people that have.
But they
small
want to give
businesses.
health care,
Both the
but
housed
millions
and
of more coming in
unhoused.
and don't got no jobs for them. You see what I'm doing? This is the collapsing of a country. You understand this now? What they're doing? How California gonna talk about giving somebody free health care and people living in the streets? That's just LA. I think San Francisco, 5 hours north of LA is even worse. I think San Francisco City and over by Oakland's even worse than LA. You crazy? Go ahead, play, Joe. Free health care. Can I get a free toilet? Can I get a free toilet so I can shit out of here or someplace to piss? Can I do that? Go ahead.
Able to get 100%.
We met Mayor Eric Garcetti at a transitional tiny home shelter the city just opened 3 months ago. These 39 homes, 64 square feet each, costing taxpayers $5.4 million.
This parcel, though, costs $5 million.
$5 million for that? You got to, and look, and now remember, you used to have black mayors. Now the Hispanics that they bringing in there. That's why LA is anti-black now. I don't know how you live there if you're black no more. Los Angeles used to be a black city. No more. Now you got the damn Mexicans in there, and they told you inside the city, we don't want these niggas here. That's what they said at City Hall. Yeah, they got a black mayor now. She's a bootlick. Those Spanish people told you, we don't want these niggas here. And they called us that. They didn't say Negroes. They didn't say blacks. They said niggas. That's what the LA City Council called us. Niggas. Like, what? Motherfucker, we founded the goddamn city. What are you talking about? You don't want us in the city that we founded.
Everything out there was about $5 million, but think about it.
For 39 units.
Correct, but that's something that can be recycled year after year after year. Everybody can point to the cost of building things. I point to the cost of not building things.
Tapping into state and federal money, Garcetti has proposed nearly $1 billion to combat the crisis, the largest ever in the city's budget.
And let me explain this, family. Let me explain this. Pause it. They don't want to get rid of this homelessness because it causes what? Angst and anxiety and desperation. I think it was like 4 years ago, California had a $40 billion surplus. That means they had $40 billion more in taxes that they didn't need. $40 billion. They could have cleaned everybody off the street. Did they do it? No. Because at that time, California was still the richest state in America. I think it's New York now again. But California used to always be the richest state in America. Now it's bankrupt. But at that time, they could have easily took $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion, and got everybody off the streets in the whole state, not just in one city, not just in LA. Because San Francisco, remember, was even worse. Because when they had Xi Jinping show up in San Francisco for that summit, they cleaned all them homeless people out of San Francisco. And remember, everybody black has been ran out of San Francisco. Remember that? You can't find nobody black up north in Northern California and San Francisco. They ran to Oakland, right? They were forced into the city of Oakland, and now they're being forced out of Oakland. They gentrifying you Negroes in Oakland too. You niggas get out. In Oakland. Remember, because Oakland was the low budget part of California. Cheaper than San Francisco. So everybody black ran to Oakland. Then they start raising the prices on you in Oakland and telling you Negroes to get out of Oakland. You got homeless all around Oakland, homeless all around San Francisco. You know why? Because there are no jobs. All the jobs went to China. China. Go ahead, Joby.
Position Triple H, a bond program overwhelmingly approved by voters in 2016 to create up to 10,000 permanent housing units over a decade. But with only 700 completed, Garcetti's plan has come under fire. A 2020 audit criticized the program for
you got millions of people homeless in California. What am I going to do with 10,000? 10,000. Listen, they don't want to listen, fam. This is all political jargon. They don't want to build this. They could have been done with it. Like they told, this is all the little kids. Since I was a kid, family. I'm 50 now. When I was a child, they had this shit going on. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do this. Go ahead, Joby.
Unit costs $558,000 to develop.
Are you getting behind, though, in your goals?
No, we're not. We're actually exceeding the goals and what we've set out to build. But that doesn't mean that homelessness necessarily goes down in America. It's like being in the boat and getting bigger and bigger, containers to bail the water out.
But critics say local leaders still aren't acting fast enough.
But they're bringing millions of aliens in here. Yeah, we're bringing millions of aliens in here. What sense does that make? Who don't got no jobs, they don't got enough housing now, and they're giving free health care and money to these aliens. Explain that. Explain that. Help me out. Got free money. Remember, they're getting free money, and now they're getting free health care. If I try to go to the doctor and say I want free health care, they'll call the police and lock my ass up. That's what they do to me. That's what they do to me, Joby. I said, hey, I want some of this free health care these illegal aliens are getting. They say, hey, somebody call the police and lock this nigga up.
This was on 1st of January, where in a move that showed anger every taxpayer, California became the first state in the nation to expand taxpayer-funded universal health care coverage to all illegal immigrants, and it estimated this will add 700,000 new people in medical and cost more than $4 billion a year. That is the statement.
But the country don't got it. That's why everybody's moving out of California. And California tried to be sneaky and keep people there. If you leave California and you live in another state, we can still tax you 10 years after you left. You're out of your mind. You can't tax me. I don't live in no California. You can't tax me. I don't live in the goddamn state no more. But they tried that. That's illegal. Huh, Joby?
That's crazy. How do you tax someone who's not living there?
Exactly. But they don't care because it's criminal. Exactly. How you tax me? I'm not even living there. Exactly. So,
joke.
Do me a
But
favor,
true.
Joby. Go to Google and say, how many people have moved out of California in the last 3 years? Let's see what Google says. We know it's a mass exodus. Those people can't afford to get out. They're broke. But the people that can leave, they're getting the hell out of there. I told people, you keep you moving back to California. Shit, are you out of your damn mind?
They're saying over 800,000 people have left California in between 2021 and 2022, according to the census bureau.
Almost a million, and it's gonna keep going. They're gonna keep. You're not taxing me. You're not taxing me, Joby. You think I'm paying for illegal aliens? Are you crazy?
Yeah, there's over 8,000 people have left California between 2021 and 2022, according to the Census Bureau.
Wow.
Inside
almost a million.
Insider spoke with 7 former California residents who left the state, and homelessness, rising crime rates, and the high cost of living were common reasons of leaving. So that is the statement.
See, just like they said, the homelessness, the crime rate, and the cost of living. You can't afford it. And I'm already broke, Joby. And you're going to tell me I got to pay for these illegal immigrants now, too? That what you're telling me? Exactly. Nah. Exactly. Deuces, Joby. I'm gone.
County to provide
Go ahead, play it.
Housing for every unsheltered person on Skid Row by mid-October. Both have appealed.
Dealing with homelessness is not for the faint of heart. It's not a place to get credit, and it's not a place that there's easy solutions. If I had $1 for every time somebody said, I know how to solve homelessness, I'd be a millionaire.
Suzette Shaw says receiving permanent housing with supportive services was a game changer for her.
If you were to see a picture of me 5 to 6 years ago, you would not even know me.
Homeless on Skid Row for 4 years, Shaw says any plan must include long-term mental health treatment.
I remember my first doctor saying to me that, how long did it take you to get in this situation? Well, then it's going to take you at least that long or more to get out of it.
While change here may not come overnight, all can agree the urgency and desperation are mounting.
I just can't understand how a country would allow people to live like this.
As more tents go up
Because the country don't care, moron. You're the
Not just an LA crisis, but a national crisis.
They are imploding the country, you moron. You ain't fixed. They are destroying the country. This is on purpose, idiots. Welcome to the America of Africa. You talking about Africa? Go back to Africa and get in the Dust Bowl. Shit, go back to go back to America and get in that shit. What you say, Joey?
I was to say the same thing. They shouldn't even dare talk about shit about Africa. Like, if you're from California, you start pointing fingers at people in Africa. You better look at yourself first and your state. Like, what you talking about? What? We don't have people living in tents here, unless it's just like of people, like what is happening in college. It's crazy. But shout out to Juba Jamba, shout out to Jason Hill, shout out to Mr. X. I see you, Karibuni. So let me go to the comments very quickly as we get to move on. I see Juba Jamba says illegal undocumented foreign nationals, not migrants. Exactly. And this is why you see Obama last week saying that he wants them to vote despite them not even having any documents. This is super crazy.
Because it's not because they know black people have woken up to a scam. Because I told you, black people are docile, Joe. No matter where you go in the world, it takes black people 60 years to figure out, since they got that Martin Luther King host, that Martin Luther King was a Democrat, and we gonna vote for the Democrat. For 60 years, these Democrats have been pissing in black people's face, right? Just pissing on their ass, not talking crazy, locking them up. Now black people say, hey, man, this is enough. None of these parties like us. No, we're black. We're African. Nobody likes, we got no friends but other African people. That's why I told you, family. It doesn't make sense for you to hate on other African people. It doesn't make sense for you to do that. It doesn't make sense for you to hate on African people. Because you got different cultures, but you're the same race. You mean to hate on somebody from Kenya, hate on somebody from Nigeria. Everybody hates us in the world, so we need each other. I don't care if you come from Jamaica, you come from Haiti, you come from Trinidad. I don't give a shit about that. You're an African. So I can't afford to have not understand that you go through the same kind of shit I'm going through, no matter where you find yourself at. So it doesn't make sense. Cause go ahead,
Go on. Okay.
Oh.
I see Jiba Jaba says that okay, a country that, and I also see you saying that RV sales are up nationwide. Of course, they're not fixing housing. And I also see you saying that Keith, my parents did that too, took me up to the Hill District in Pittsburgh. Damn, you all were being frightened. If you don't do right, you're gonna have to you're being frightened by your parents. If you don't do right, you're gonna end up in the street. But you see what you see, the fact what it did, it made you work so hard.
That shit did scare me, Joby. I'm not gonna try a lie. I think I was like 6 or 7. That scared that shit out, man. I ain't gonna try a lie. But I wasn't a bad student yet. I was only like in the 2nd grade. Like, what are you talking about, man? Hey, this is gonna happen to you if you don't study and you don't do right. You're supposed to if you do drugs. I don't know nothing about those drugs.
It's kept you on check. Jason Hill, once again, Caribbean, is saying that covered California health care is free, but let immigrants need a major operation, they have to pay deductible. Sorry, nothing is really free. Good illusion. I kind of agree with you. I think either way they're gonna end up finding how they can pay for all this. But I think they're doing it through election. I think that's one of the way they're doing it through election.
Remember, they're bringing all these non-black people in here. See, look, they've already been stealing the vote, family. But they need the illusion is that the election process actually works, right? They were, oh, you black people helping us win now. They've been stealing the elections forever. Just like this is Africa, I hate to tell you. Welcome to Africa. They've been stealing the elections since Kennedy. So they want to be plausible deniability because a lot of you black people are not going to vote for them no more. They know that. Let us say these illegal immigrants will vote. Oh, motherfucker gonna vote. He's not even a citizen. What are you talking about? But see, that was the scam. And also, what are they? They're another bubble race state, they anti-black. They're bringing people there who can't stand black people. And now elevating them over us. You understand this? That's why I was trying to figure out why they keep saying by 2050 black people ain't gonna have shit. That's why. This is why you're not gonna have shit. You're not gonna have no jobs. Because all that's gonna be, those illegal aliens by then are gonna be 2nd and 3rd generation. So they're already gonna be here. 2nd and 3rd generation. So they're gonna be American citizens. The children, and you what? You can't stop being black. I don't care if you want to call yourself an Indian or whatever the fuck. You're black. You ain't getting no job, nigga. So get ready to go get you a tent and get in it.
I also see Jason Hill adds Vincent Beachhead tents all up down the boardwalk, but white areas stay clean to a point. It is super crazy and insane. So meaning this is just an effect to all the black communities losing their jobs, ending up in the streets, and it's super sad. Jason also adds that but a lot of folks are homeless by choice as well. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I don't know if a lot of people choose to be homeless by choice. People always tell me, I don't believe none of that. Ain't nobody deciding to shit in a bag and piss on the street. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. You can't wash your ass. You walking around stinking. Nah, I don't know. I don't agree to that. I don't believe nobody choose to be homeless. Nah, I don't see that.
Kind of disagree, or rather agree with Keith as well, and disagree with you, Jason Hill. I don't believe there's anyone who just wakes up and decides, especially us.
Yeah. Let me wake up, Joey. Let me go sleep in a tent, and I can't. I got no running water. Can't brush my teeth. Can't wash my hands. Don't know where to got nowhere to do number 2. I got no way to do number one.
You got to be smoking crack for you to end up on the streets. I also see Jason says that Oakland, California is straight Mad Max, burnt out cars everywhere. And I also see you're asking.
So it's even worse than so it's even worse than Oakland. Yes, remember Oakland was like the low budget San Francisco, the city across the bay. That's where they send all the black folks when they was kicking them out of San Francisco. You niggas get out of here. Go to, and then remember, Oakland became a black city because that's where you got Tupac learned to start rapping in Oakland. You know, he's claiming Oakland, even though he wasn't from the Oakland. His parents moved from New York to Baltimore, Baltimore to Oakland, right? It got worse. But you look at Oakland today, you're like, man, shit. And you talking about Africa? You're talking about Africa? And you seen Oakland? Shit, like, he's right. That's Mad Max for real. Talking about Africa. What?
You should. Jason Hill also adds that CJ Bajaba said that those are not homes; they are moving boxes. Jason Hill also says that they don't want Los Angeles going up in smoke, especially with the homeless. That's a good starting fire. And also see you add that American Mexicans don't even like these immigrants from everywhere. They don't get along. Animals fight other animals for dominance, territorial art. And also see Mr. X once again, you're saying that they are jobs, just low payment, part-time service sector. They are jobs, just low payment, part-time service.
What else, Mr. X? He must be on TikTok or something.
No, it's on my YouTube.
Okay, I didn't see it. I don't see his ass on. Okay, I got you.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that, but it's called X. So I'm calling him Mr. X. I hope he's mixed. But I also see he says that they can end homeless with 2 billion. Okay, they can end homeless with 2 billion, and also see you're saying that California. They don't need 5 million. That's what I think what you're trying to say. You're also saying that California passed a law that is Mr. X, and also see Jason Hill says America, Mexico, moving some here. Okay, Jibajama says that 10,000 homes built over 10 years, but 10,000 a day come across the border. It's insane. That makes sense.
Exactly. They like that. Yeah, take it 10,000 homes is nothing. That's what? Are you joking to me? You sound crazy. You got like 30 million people living. You got 30 million. It's 30 million. The population of California is like 30 million. It might gone down there. Do this from each other. Pull up. Go to YouTube tape. What is the population of California? I think it's like 30 million. I think. You're talking about 10,000 homes. You sound crazy. That's literally nothing. That ain't even nothing. That's less than nothing.
Okay, 39 million.
Yeah. So it's almost 40 million people living in California now. 40 million. Shit. You're talking about 10,000 homes. You sound crazy. That's little than nothing. 40 million fucking. Damn. There's still 40 million people living in California. Shit. When I was, it was like 30 million. Damn that. 40 million. Shit. See, California, you're going to start losing all those people because they starting to flee now. 40 million. Wow, that's a lot of damn. It ain't grown a lot. 40 million people. Shit.
And obviously, Jibajama says that yes, they do keep tax your 401k withdrawals after you leave the state if you opened it in a CA. Damn, okay. So
if you do what? They tax you if you do what now? Tell me.
They say that yes, they do tax you. They do tax your 401,000 withdrawals after you leave the state if you opened it in a CA. I don't know what it means by CA.
I don't know that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah. I seen it. I thought, hell, you taxing me. I don't live in no California no more. Man, you know, if I got a tax bill from California, I throw that shit in the trash.
reading it. I also see Jibajaba, you're saying that poverty is a big business. It is, man, and it is operating super well. It is operating super well, which it is. And I also see Mr. X says the California passed a bill to allow health insurance, if that is what you're asking, if that is a question. And I also see you're saying, Jabba, that I'd prefer to live in a hut than a tent. Exactly. That is right here in the continent. We don't live in tents, okay? It is only happening because of the same people causing trouble worldwide, where they're displacing people in Africa. So because of the quick movement, you don't have time to move to build huts, which are actually very good and very warm. We don't get such time. But I'd also rather live in a mud hut rather than a tent. I'm gonna be able to shower. I'm gonna be able to wash my body after going to the washroom. I'm not gonna have to, hey that is stinking. But anyway, this will also say that the system need that money. Immigrants are sending that money home. Where? Home where?
When I came out of Mexico, Guatemala, Brazil, Colombia, we get a lot of South Americans up here. Exactly. But that's not the bank gets a cut of that. Yeah, but they send the money back, but that ain't got to do the cost of you see, when they ship them to Chicago, New York, and all these other cities are going broke. They can't afford them. They having hey, we can't afford these immigrants. We got nowhere to house they ass. But where they were putting them in black neighborhoods. They don't take them to the white people neighborhood. They put them right in your neighborhood and open up shit where you couldn't even get nothing. Black people be crying, hey, we need some stuff, we need some resources. You dirty nigga, shut up. What? And these illegal aliens come in, they get money, housing, school. Like what? And you the one paying for it. Your tax dollars are paying for that shit. Like, nah. Y'all can talk all the shit y'all want about Florida. Florida's just as racist as any other state. But you're not going to have no shit like that in Florida, baby. You're not going to have none of these white racists here talking about paying for that shit. They'll burn the state down to the ground. So, yeah, I like that. So I'm not going to be paying no money for the homeless. If you guys remember last year, Florida was shipping the homeless out of here. Get their ass out of here. I'm with that. Put them on a bus, send their ass to New York, send their ass to California, tell them wherever you got to send them. But get their ass out of Florida. I'm with it.
I also say that California passed a law to allow non-US citizens to become cops. I think we discussed this last year, if I'm not wrong. This happened last year.
And understand what they're doing. As they implode the country, they want to make people have no affinity who not part of your culture be able to bust you in your head and shoot you. See, this is the new world order setting up their police force to attack them, because now you guys are starting to know that the Congress and all these people don't work for you.
And then add where they're trying to tell you that they need to take control of the guns. I mean, how do you take away the gun from me while you allow people who are not even
Exactly. They have guns. Exactly. There'll be some Africans figured out. That don't make any sense. Exactly. That sounds crazy. You need your weapon. I'm gonna let somebody now can be a police officer and kill me. It ain't even a goddamn citizen. Are you crazy? But that's what they're doing. It's in your face now. It's in your face. It's the implosion of the country. Now you morons know that these people don't run the country. You get it? Your politicians and your presidents, they don't run shit, but they mouth. The people that own these banks, called your Rockefeller, your Rothschild, these are their programs, and they're being implemented. So you make sure you keep your damn heat on you. You keep your firearm on you at all times. You don't leave. It's like, what was that commercial we say? American Express, like your credit card. Nah, forget your credit card. Your weapon. Never leave home without it. You never know who you might have to, put some act right on. I gotta put some act right on you, goddammit.
Jason says immigrants not going to spend $1 trillion on material crap. Them days are going to, with the wind. And also see, you're saying that some people living in campers saving money. One of my uncles lived in a camper for 30 years. He passed 7 years ago. He had money but no house. Damn. And I also see that's the problem when it comes to also you guys, like, you know, buying when it comes to assets
Yeah,
and
money.
all that.
Okay. He's in a camper. How was his life? Now, what kind of camper? He lived in a fucked up camper or up to date one? Okay, he said, what's the reason for saving all this money? I ain't lived no good life. I ain't did nothing with it. I can't take it with me. So all this life I stayed and lived in a fucked up camper. I don't want to live no place fucked up. So, you know, when I do get to Africa, I'm not living fucked up. I'm going to live in the nicest goddamn place. I deserve it, goddamn it. And everybody that works for me does. I deserve to live nice. You Africans got to think you're supposed to live all fucked up. Nah. I think like a white person. I'm supposed to live good like our ancient Africans did. I ain't supposed to live all fucked up. Damn that.
Period.
That's right.
Zuba says that, yep, if I was single, the RV or tiny home on a trailer would work on some acreage, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I'll see.
I don't want no tiny home. That's propaganda. I don't want to live in no trailer and no tiny home. I want to live good. I don't want to be in no damn tiny home. Crazy?
Mr. Ed saying that 40 million homeless population is closer to 1 million. Exactly. And I also see you saying that Fox in Chicago, that is Jason, go to postal on immigrants, especially the videos I see on TikTok. And I also see Jaba says that Mzungu on Stolen Island, New York City went ballistic on the illegal housing plan. And you're also adding that, yes, even at home, it's on me bedtime too. I didn't get that. But Jason also says that he traveled around the US. He had a new computer after he junked the old one that he bought from a friend. He traveled around the world, but he still didn't live good. That's the point. You know, he had the money, traveled around the world.
But travel be good. If he travel, good. If he travel around, now that's a good use of your money. To meet different people, interesting things, and that's a good life. Traveling around the world and meeting interesting people, like me, going to all these African countries, that's interesting.
Well,
I don't want. I still want.
30 years. He lived in a camper for 30 years.
Yeah, I don't want to live in no goddamn camper. Not for no 30 years. I don't want to live in a camper for 30 minutes, let alone 30 years.
You're super crazy. You're super crazy. But yes, those are all the comments right here. But I also hope, as we add on to that, but I think we've discussed on it, where the U.S. Department, let me read the article of what the U.S. Department had to say about suing Texas. They're saying that the U.S. Department of Justice sued Texas on Wednesday over a new state law that allows Texas police to arrest migrants suspected to crossing the Texas-Mexico border illegally. And I quote what they say, Texas cannot disregard the United States Constitution and settle Supreme Court.
Yes, again, because the Constitution doesn't allow illegal aliens to come in here. So their whole suit is a lie. Constitution don't say let all these illegal aliens in here and vote. So Texas is on the right side of the Constitution. That your borders are supposed to be protected. So that don't even work. Because see, these people, they want to collapse all the world borders and create this one world government. That's what's going on. And they got to collapse the big dog on the block, and that's America. They've already wrote about it. Ain't the same people that were government officials, high officials, were actually working against America. Actually working to destroy the damn place. Actually working to destroy it from within. Because you can never destroy America from without. You didn't have no country powerful enough to destroy it. Couldn't use Russia, couldn't use China. There was no country powerful enough. So it's been destroyed from within. That's what you see happening. Being destroyed because these decisions don't even make any sense. Hey, Joe, we just said, man, why would you do that if you do this? That don't make no sense. Completely nonsensical. Just like you had oh, go ahead, Joe.
Sorry. The agency that we have brought this action to ensure the Texas adheres to the framework adopted by Congress and the Constitution for Regulations of Immigration. The lawsuit was filed in an Austin federal court and names Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Department of Public Safety director. It also asked the court to declare the state's law unconstitutional and prevent Texas from implementing it. This is so crazy.
You can't, federal government. You can't. Your laws do not dictate over Texas law. Texas is a sovereign country. Remember, we choose to be part of the United States. Certain laws are within Texas. Just like when you were doing that health shit. See, y'all didn't know. And I'm going to say it on Google, even though this ain't going to get, this is a fact of God. The federal government doesn't have the right to dictate any health to the American people. That's a state function. Only your specific state you live in can dictate health to you, not the federal government. So none of those mandates that they were trying to implement were legal. They were all illegal, every last one of them. But they knew you didn't know the goddamn laws because you've been dumbed down. The federal government doesn't have any right to dictate health to you. None. Only your specific state does. Your state has the right to dictate health care law to you. Just like if I'm in California, they got a law in their state about health. It ain't got shit to do with me. I don't live in that state. I live in Florida. Or somebody in New York make a health statement. It ain't got shit to do with me. You know, when it was when New York was telling people to wear a mask, I don't live in New York. It ain't got shit to do with me. I live in Florida. So I ain't got to wear no damn mask. So shit. It's state by state, not federal. The federal government don't got no right to tell you shit concerning your health. It's the state, not the damn federal government. But they knew you didn't know that, so they still tried to do it. You know why? Because the people that were in this world, they wanted it to happen. They got control of America back in 1913 with that fake-ass bank called the Federal Reserve Bank. Now all these politicians are bought and paid for, especially on the federal level. Now they're working to get every goddamn state. So behooves your state officials, your state politicians, because they working on getting their ass too. So understand, they talking about some mandate shit. You can't mandate a goddamn thing. Motherfucker, got bite up there. You're making me mad. You're not taking a vaccine. So what? Kiss my ass, goddammit. You don't got the damn power, the right to tell me shit. That's a state function, not a federal government function. And so now they're trying to say shit with immigration. Immigration, if the federal government fails, the state is supposed to step in and protect its citizens. Fuck the federal government. Right? Remember, they completely changed the federal government to still snatch more and more power. Most of your power is supposed to be in the state's hands. If you guys remember your Constitution, not the federal government. The federal government can only do certain things. Remember, before you got this fake fucking bank, this Federal Reserve Bank that's illegal, according to the Constitution, they want to talk about the Constitution, all right? Why do we got a Federal Reserve when it's illegal? It's unconstitutional. Why do we got a Federal Reserve note dollar? That's in the Constitution. It's illegal. Why does it exist? Ain't none of these politicians say nothing about that. So spare me about what's illegal. But remember, the federal government wasn't even allowed to tax you before they made that fake bank. Because the Rothschilds and the people think they want that money from us. Taxation is illegal in America. That's the Constitution. Remember, that's why they locked up Wesley Snipes for telling the truth. The IRS is illegal. Why does it exist? Why do I got to pay my taxes every year to an IRS? Because it's not part of the United States government. The IRS is what? Independently owned by these fucking banker families. You like, what? That's why you never taught this in any school? That's why you're not taught this in any college? That's why you don't never know none of this. That them taxing you is illegal against the Constitution. Why do you think they don't teach you the Constitution in school no more? You don't know no Constitution. You ain't taught none of this shit in high school, in college. Most Americans don't even know shit about the Constitution. Not a damn thing. The federal government was only allowed certain rights to form an army, a military, to protect the whole country. Certain laws and hereby laws, but it was never allowed to tax you. Remember, income taxation was illegal, but now they got it because you know why? Because the Rockefellers and Rothschilds bought up all the Congress people in 1913 and created a fake-ass bank called the Federal Reserve Bank, where we borrow money. We borrow our own money from people. You know, now, I want you to sound straight this out. That's like me coming to Joby, right? Joby's got her own dinner, her own meat. I say, nah, fuck that, Joby. You got meat, so what? This is what you do, Joby. I know you got meat and you got cows, but I want you to buy your cows. I'm going to have cows. I want you to buy your cows from me, and then when you use my cow meat, you're going to pay me for using you're gonna pay me for using my cow meat. Joby said, but why don't I just use my own cows? Because they don't make me no money, Joby. I know, I'm not supposed to make you money. So what? But you're going to, I'm going to put a bullet in your head. That's the banking system scam we got going on. That's the IMF. That's the World Bank. He's a scam where you pay people for doing nothing, for printing money that you can print yourself. See, why does the federal government in America print its own money? Why am I paying somebody to print my own money and then pay them to print my own money at interest? You said that wouldn't make any sense. Of course it doesn't. That's the scam. Mm-hmm. That's why you weren't supposed to know that bank even exists. Who owns it? Let me see this, because Google's hiding everything. Do this for me, Joby.
Okay.
Say, ask Google, say, who owns the Federal Reserve Bank of America? You can say the central bank, maybe it's called the Federal Bank. Who owns the Federal Reserve Bank of America? Who owns it?
The Federal Reserve Bank, the Federal Reserve System is not owned by anyone. The Federal Reserve was...
Joby, is that owned by anyone? Joby, is that owned by anyone? Is that owned by anyone? Yeah, but they let you know it's not owned by America. It's not owned by any. The Federal Reserve Bank is not owned by. Nah, it fucking exists if it's not owned by anyone, Joby. It just said. It just said, Joby. It's not owned by nobody, but they let you know it ain't owned by America. It ain't owned by the U.S. government. So how this is not owned by anybody. Why do they got the right, Joby, to print dollar bills from nothing?
A very big question. A very big question we should be asking. A very big question. Who are they? Who gives you the authority? Who gives you the right if it's not owned by anyone?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And the same people that own that bank, own the IMF, the World Bank, and the Central Bank of Kenya. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They just different names, but they all control the same thing. But shout out to you, Joe Mosquito. I see you both on TikTok and on Instagram. Jumbo to you too. I also see Jibba Jabba. I'm okay. I don't need glasses. I'm fine. Thank you for being considerate. I also see
Your
you saying that
Instagram, your Instagram too, Joey?
no, on TikTok. I said TikTok. I said Instagram. No, I said TikTok. I don't know. Maybe I said Instagram, but TikTok. You're on TikTok. Yeah, I say you're saying that the CDC is not a government agency, and just saying that the CDC is not.
CDC is not it. Exactly. The Central for Disease Control is not a government agency too. Exactly right. So where's all these institutions? Who's creating these? Oh, the cats with the small hat. Yes. Now you want to know who owns the Federal Reserve Bank? The cats with the small hat. You want to know who owns the IMF? The cats with the small hat. You want to know who owns the World Bank? The cats with the small hat. Yes. That's why so we can pull up and Google and tell you. And who owns Google? The cats with the small hat. And Google will tell you, don't nobody own that bank. What? How does it exist? How does it exist then? If nobody owns it.
Magic. It's all magic.
It's magic.
Ziba Daba is asking, is the CDC is not a federal agency, correct? I think
it's not. It's not. The Centers for Disease Control is another fake made-up organization by these people. Remember, that's why they try to lock us down through health things now, because it's despotic. This is how they take it over the country. That's why you got the WEF, World Economic Forum, not a government organization. The damn the WHO, the World Health Organization, not controlled by any government. The small hats created it, right? So they say they need to have authority to come tell you when something's a pandemic and tell you to lock down your country. You out of your fucking mind. We don't get no authority to you people. And that's what all these government officials are bought and paid for, trying to sign legislation to give the WHO power throughout the world to lock us down. And the answer is no. That's why you don't ever give up your goddamn gun. That's why. Because all these politicians are bought and paid for. They don't represent nobody. None of us. You need to know that. So we talk, the CDC says wear masks, and I agree that the pandemic, I agree that the vaccines were safe and effective. Okay? That was the CDC told you. And I agree. Hint. I agree with that. So who was pushing that? See, I got the new. That's why I come back every week. We got to start going deep until we got the new network up. I just don't know how to place it yet. I got to change it on the damn website. I messed that up. I know I was doing. But now we can talk forever, for real. We got unlimited bandwidth to tell the truth. Because these are the cats that are trying to do the, why do you think everybody thinks Zuckerberg and Goldberg and Hemingberg and Wiesenthal and yeah, figure it out. And it's not anti-Semitic either. Why do you think everybody got that in common? Huh? Everybody's named Weinstein, Holberg, G-Stein, and all these different names. Why is that? And every time you look up, they're the ones over in control of these agencies. Huh? Why is that? Explain to me how 90% of the institutions are controlled by cats with the small hats in America. 90%. And they're only 3% of the population in America. How's that even possible? How's that possible? Let me know. So this is the orchestrated. Go back and read their text, family. Go back and read what they call the Talmud. Read that shit. Read the Talmud. Read it. Read it. And you understand what they're doing in Gaza right now, blowing up men, women, and ain't nobody said nothing. Shout out to South Africa has grown a backbone and taking that shit to the International Criminal Court. Shout out to them. I mean, but ain't nothing done yet. You know why? And the only reason why they said the Congo was, you know what the Congo was told? Listen, you goofy Negro, if you take these white Palestinians, we'll forgive some of your loans. You'll forgive all my goddamn loans. That's some of them. You'll forgive every goddamn bit of them. You want me to take these white people in? You're going to forgive every goddamn loan you got on my book. Chinese, IMF, World Bank. I'm hanging up the phone. And then when you get them there, I'm going to on a boat right back to Palestine. Or shit they ass to Morocco or Algeria. Go ahead, Joe.
The court did dismiss the accusation from South Africa. They said that this is not, these are all lies. That was last week we read that. So there's nothing
that's not a lie. That's not no lie. They did implement that. Whether the court do anything about it, South Africa did put that out. That's in the court of record. South Africa did call out Israel for genocide and took their legal claim to the court. That's a fact. They can pretend like it's not. That's a fact. That's not no conspiracy theory. They done that.
True. But I see Danny Harrison in the building, Karibu Sana. You're saying that what they tell you in college is that the Federal Reserve Bank is owned by all major banks, such as Wells Fargo. Who owns those banks? The small hat. That is a comment from Danny Harrison. And also
exactly. Exactly.
Finally admitted the Rona came leaked from a Chinese lab, not from a Chinese person eating a bat. I mean, that was a long time ago. They started revealing the truth quite some time back, and right now everyone knows what is happening. And also you're saying that Danny says basically it's an intricate. Basically, it's an intricate system of indirect control, such as what you see with private equity groups such as BlackRock. And I also see Jiba Jabba. Okay, Danny also adds that it is done. That's why, to avoid scandal from shady business practices, profit from it and stay behind the scene. They fund this through trust funds and life insurance policies. And I also see you're adding that if you fund a business through trust fund and the life insurance, you don't have a tax burden either. And Joe Mosquito is saying that he's on YouTube. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Mr. X. I don't know if it's
no, that's not Mr. X, that's just X. That's not Mr. X.
I know the Mr. X you're talking about, so I'm just calling him Mr. X because he's X. So yeah.
He's just X. That's a different person. That's just X.
Yeah. Swati and Lante, poor sana ni Kofiti, Hoku Kofiti pia wewe. Nice to see you right here. But anyway, as we move on, I also want to talk about something. Since you just mentioned Israel, there's something I discovered during the weekend that I didn't know that, and I'm not surprised that Israel was capable of, and that is them sterilizing Ethiopian women.
I told you that for a long time. They took black women in there, and then when they have babies, they sterilize them without their knowledge. That's that same thing happened in Kenya. The same people behind the ones in Israel. Same thing happened in Kenya. When they would let these Ethiopians come in, because they know that the Africans are the original Hebrews, but they don't. But they're racist, so they were sterilizing them without their notice, without their knowledge. Wicked, evil.
It is crazy. So I was reading that during the weekend. I was kind of shocked, and I'm like, these people are so much in control of everything, even when it comes to our wombs right now. And I'm not shocked, trust me. I'm just not shocked. It is just so crazy of how we poured so much belief, especially in the Israel parts and the Bethlehem bullshit, all that,
Yeah, all that bullshit. Exactly. And only thing you'd be shocked about is that somebody went to jail for it. Ain't nobody go to jail for it. You'd be shocked that somebody went to prison.
No, I went to jail for it. Nobody. But I wanted to share something as well before time also moves on. There's a history that I discovered today, and I found so much interest in it, and I'd love to also hear from the audience of what you guys know about the 1811 incident. It is actually a history that happened on such a day today. That was in 1811, where we had majority of the black people who are seeking and fighting for freedom, where we had a lot of people being hanged, along the river ponds and all that. So on this day being the 1811, it happened to be the largest slave uprising in the U.S. government, and this was underway in what we call today Louisiana, and led by Charles, an enslaved laborer from Dislon plantation. Over 500 Africans from diverse backgrounds sought to capture New Orleans and create new republic. Inspired by the Haitian Revolution, the rebels intended to form a slavery army, liberate thousands of enslaved individuals in Louisiana, and overthrow the system of slavery. But
remember, a lot of the Africans from Louisiana, they weren't Indians, they came from Africa. They came from Angola. A lot of them came up
Congo,
Congo, Angola, all that region right there. Go ahead, Joe.
So they're saying that, let me read that again. But despite their determination, the revolt was quelled by brute force 3 days in. Many leaders were captured, tried, and executed. Their heads displayed on poles along the river to intimidate others.
To make sure that you don't do it again, niggas. You stay slave. You see these heads up here? We cut their heads off. We put them on poles, niggas. Don't you try it again. You see what happened to you when you step out of line and go against your white masters? We chop your heads off. See that? And that causes fear, especially amongst the women. And that fear goes to their babies. That's called epigenetics. And so the babies grow up as cowards and docile. Cause fear within the next generation. Go ahead, Joe.
The sacrifice of these heroes were not in vain. The uprising resorted humanity and weakened the institution of slavery. Subsequent revolts were inspired, and it set the stage for the Civil War. The descendants of the 1811 revolts contributed significantly to the Union Army during the Civil War, with Louisiana providing over 28,000 soldiers. The ancestors exemplified courage and dedication, understanding that the emancipation of everyone is crucial for individual freedom. So I want to share a very specific video over here that I began with earlier. This guy reads a book that is called America Uprising, the Untold Story of America's Largest Slave Revolt by Daniel Rasmussen, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. So he explains correctly what used to happen every January, where we had Africans practicing different cultures, dancing and all that. And I think referring back the time we discussed of where Brazil, in some parts of Brazil, if you remember this kid, he told me there is parts of Brazil where we have Africans still practicing the African traditions, like the dances, connecting in music and all that, which is quite rare, because back in the continent, it is the Jesus way. It is either the Jesus way.
It was still big in Louisiana. Yeah, Louisiana was allowed to keep a lot of its culture too. A lot of Africans in Louisiana were allowed to keep a lot of their culture too.
Right,
that's why you got a lot of voodoo. That's why you got a lot of African religions in Louisiana. A lot of the voodoo, a lot of spirit work is down in Louisiana.
Okay, let me share this.
But I can't understand them though, Joe, because they say, "Hey, baby, what you doing, baby? How about that, baby? What we do, baby? Hey, baby, baby. How about that, baby? All right, baby. Okay, baby."
Those are the Louisiana people that think like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I don't want me no man from there, so I pass.
Yeah.
I bet.
This book details this in detail, but why I like this book is because it goes into depth of the lives and the people and how it was started. So it begins every year on January 6th. The King's Ball marked the kickoff of the carnival season that culminated in Mardi Gras. The ball featured the cutting of a cake in which a bean had been hidden amid dancing music, and revealers would celebrate the election of a king and a queen on the 12 cakes and drink prodigious amounts of alcohol. As the plan to celebrate Epiphany, 500 or 600 African men and women from New Orleans and its environs gathered in the common. Some of their
Those are your
best.
people in
Trust them
Louisiana,
to ask
Joby.
that to Jones.
Those are your people in Louisiana, Joby. Those are your people, Joby. They come from the Congo. Those are your people. So get out of here.
Yeah, but no, they don't sound like Nish. I don't think Nish has that accent. John was speaking that they don't sound like Sister Nish. I was about to ask the same thing, but I'm like, I've met Nish, so why would I ask? And I think I understand Nish English. So
They got the Nish. They got the Nish accent. Nish is a little bit different. Nish is from Lafayette. It's close though. That Louisiana accent is thick. It's a thick accent. You're right. Nish got that accent. Nish says baby a lot too. But yeah, got that Nish accent. Those are your people, Joby. How dare you?
no.
For the ritual facial scars and foul teeth of the Congo. Others, the tattoos of the Asante Kingdom. So these carnivals are important because these are the times that we were allowed to come together. But you will have people dancing, you'll have people doing parades, you'll have people dressing up in masquerades. But what happens here is these people are allowed to practice their Pacific culture. But being that we're able to come together on this day and really not supervised, things take place. So now the participants formed dancing circles around one central king, where two women danced, holding handkerchiefs with the tips of their fingers. An old man sat on top of this cynical drum about a foot in diameter, beating the canvas quickly with the edge of his hand. Several others held drums between their knees, producing incredible explosions of percussive sound. A grizzled man of not less than 80 years of age played an African stringed instrument. So you heard me speak about this instrument in the last presentation that extended from the ground to over his head. Women sang African folk songs while walking rhythmically
Pause
around
that.
the drum.
How
The
did these
sounds
how
of
these Indians how these Indians know African songs? Because everybody's now Indian, right? How did these Indians know these African songs and African instruments? How'd that happen? How do these Indians know this African shit since they were not from Africa? Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe.
Africa rocked this Pacific city. The square, which we was known as Congo Square, burst with color. The men came wrapped in traditional coastal African garb, brightly dyed robes wrapped around otherwise naked bodies. The women boasted their latest fashion, sporting clothes made of silk, gauze, Muslim, and Purcell. The flags of different African tribe regions and ethnicities flew above the celebrants. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So
this is the
how did they know their
1800s.
different tribes still? That they were Indian? How did they know their tribe? So they even knew that. See, men, that part of America, they still knew their tribe. They weren't completely adverse of even knowing the tribes that they came from. So what Indian tribes are those they're singing about? Right? They knew their African tribes.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to you, Sister Angela Morris. Nice to see you in long time, but nice to see you.
And with the side of these 1800s, you have these individuals knowing their nations, they're coming together. But there's something I really want to get into when you deal with these kings and queens and these festivals, right? So On this specific day, the anointment of the planter's carnival king, the festival will also celebrate the crowning of a new leader. Many times, these leaders have been chiefs of kings in Africa. The crowning of the leader was the climax of the festival. These dances were probably the largest African gatherings for hundreds of miles because of its French and Spanish past. New Orleans still allowed large groups of Black people to meet. This is very important. Unlike most of the rest of the United States, where such gatherings were banned for
But
fear of
legal.
the distant
Exactly. I didn't know they had that much freedom in Louisiana to keep their culture. But everywhere around America, our culture was not stamped out. Just like Ibrahim Toure talking about through colonialism. Our culture was taken out. Your tribe was no more. You didn't know what tribe you came from. That was done. That was against us. That was no more. You're not no tribe. Well, how come you came from this plantation, nigga? You came from this plantation. Well, was I ever free? No. All right, goddamn. Go ahead.
Oh, we want to talk about these festivals. So I'm gonna go out of that revolt for a second to show you the relationship of these Black kings and queens and these different carnivals. So you see this book here says the Pinkster King and the King of Congo. So yes, the Pinkster festival is not originally an African festival. It comes from Europe, comes from Dutch, has those specific origins. However, Black people in the Americas took over these actual festivals and incorporated their own cultural remembrance in them. And they used it when they came together so that they can talk and do multiple things. So just to show you a historical record, here we go. It says the presence of elected slave kings has been observed far beyond the borders of New England and New York. Several accounts of New Orleans Congo Square, for instance, refer to Black kings. In her study of popular culture humor, Constant Rennicard writes that many who heard the minstrels in the Gulf states or along the lower Mississippi must have remembered those great holidays in the New Orleans. Early in the 19th century, when hundreds of Negroes followed through the streets, a king chosen for his youth, strength, and Blackness. So in previous presentations, I told you guys about Negro election day, right? And how that festival, how they picked as kings. I showed you the Black kings and governors in Connecticut, but this all ties into where we are at now in the U.S. in New Orleans. Moving further, so you have something called Black Brotherhoods, and these Black Brotherhoods are Catholic institutions. These on the Iberian coast, right, are Black African brothers that are over there. They take on these brotherhoods, and they also, you will see the constant thing, they take it over and make their own. So it says around 1540, the Black community separated itself and applied for its own charter, and it was called the Brotherhood of Our Lady of the Rosary of the Black Men, which it received in 1565. During processions, the king and queen were usually protected from the sun by a sunshade held by one of the members and wore a crown or hat covered with pieces of gold, silver, or anything shiny to make it look like a crown. In places with a large number of slaves, several Black brotherhoods could develop that were subdivided according to their slaves' origins or nations, named after their place or region in Africa from where they had been shipped, such as Congo, San George d'Ia, Mina, Mozambique. Other important holidays for Black brotherhoods were Corpus
Like I
Christi,
told you, they took it from East Africa too. People didn't understand when I said that. Mozambique. A lot of you Negroes over here came from Mozambique. Just down the road from Kenya. You understand that? Next to Tanzania. Mozambique is a country south of Tanzania. You know? That's how I tell you all throughout Africa, not just West Africa. A lot of you came from the interior. They walked you out to the coast. Whether you walked you out to the east part of Africa or the west part. brought you out to the coast and threw your ass on a ship and brought your ass over out to Brazil, Colombia, Trinidad, Jamaica, America, Belize, wherever they brought your black ass at. Go ahead, Joe. The time to
All
be a
Saints
slave,
Day,
Negro.
All Souls Day, St. John's Day, and St. James Day. So yes, these are Christian processions and festivals, but behind these festivals is where these Africans they named their own brotherhoods after their own nations and continue to have their own culture. They joined these organizations as well and created their own because it was a way for them to help the Black community. So they were able to provide what you would call health services. They were able to provide food, etc., for those new Africans coming into the place. They would even also raise money to free these Pacific slaves. Moving further, what you're looking at here now is Carnival in Trinidad. So what they're holding in their hand is the
Just
Kalanda
like I
stick.
said, Trinidad, Tobago, like I just said. Where they drop you off in Trinidad, that's where your Nicki Minaj is from. She's from Trinidad with that no good rapping ass. That's Joby girl. She's from Trinidad. Go ahead.
Throwing me under the bus for no reason.
And we're going to read about this carnival before we go back into where we need to be. It says Trinidad Carnival tradition in the Cambole, which is African, but it has incorporated vital masquerade tradition of the East Indian and Armenian. The Cambole is inclusive drum music led concerned with the vital African oratory tradition. It's about sacred masquerade, ancestral masquerade, satire masquerade, and is revolutionary. It is connected to dozens of secret society masquerade forms, which hid and mutated their forms into all the things we call traditional bands. And you'll see the name of the mask, the cow bands, the devil bands. Nearly every single traditional mosque has an African masking president in form and function. So in Trinidad, these Pacific brothers that are there, they're going against the British, and they utilize these same exact festivals and same carnivals to come
Yeah,
together
remember
and
the day
forge
you got a big.
alliances
What else do you got? Whenever the
and
British brought
revolution.
Africans,
So
what did they bring? Indians. That's why Trinidad has a huge Indian population in Trinidad. And the Indians are the ones that own everything, while the Africans are in absolute poverty in Trinidad. Go ahead, Joby.
So that day, right now, this is what goes on over there. Now we will go back. So these meetings that these individuals were able to have in New Orleans will produce this. It says these meetings served as a means of exchange, both cultural and economic, but they also served another role as a breeding ground for slave conspiracies. And the Sunday, the circuits of the secret slave communication buzzed with signals. A plot was aloofed. Two men, I want you to pay attention to these names, Cook and Kwame, were in large part responsible for activating these African channels with revolutionary activity. Like the participants in the dance that January Sunday, Cook and Kwame were Africans. Their names suggest that these two men were Akan, children of a warlike African empire in the height of its glory. Their names were anglicizations of the names of Kwaku and Kwamami in the Akan dialects of Twi and Fanti. The name Cook was the name associated with the spider, the classic trickster Kwaku Anansi of Akan folklore, and meant that Cook was born on Wednesday. The name Kumani was assigned to men who were born on Tuesdays, and it was associated with the ocean. According to their master's estimates, Cook and Kwame were born around 1790, a time when war was ravaging the African continent. In the Lower Guinea region, the Oyo Empire, the kingdom of Dahomey, known for having palaces decorated with human skulls, and their smaller states of the coast fought for regional supremacy, enslaving and selling prisoners of war to European traders at coastal forts. And the
Remember
Kingdom
the
of the
homie,
Congo
the homie, the
war
homie is, the homie is
16.
the woman king, right? The homie is the kingdom of the woman king, the movie, where they were enslaving other Africans and selling them to the Europeans. That's the homie. I don't give a shit that they finally got stopped the fuck out. That was the kingdom of the homie, which is now in Benin, which would now be part of Benin today. The Dahomey Empire and finally got conquered by the Europeans and got stomped the fuck out. Good. Good riddance to it. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, John and Karibu.
5. Mobilized large numbers of troops with guns and horses who fought across the African plains. The violence peaked around 1781 when 30,000 Congolese warriors stormed the fort of Salvador under the command of King Jose I in the Gold Coast. The Akan were driving toward the coast with massive armies threatening the European vassal states that supported the Atlantic slave trade. Cook and Kumane
So they let you know they fought, the Africans fought to stop slaves. They helped the white man. That's a lie. They were wars. He's telling you about the wars that were going on all throughout Africa to stop their people from being kidnapped and enslaved. The Akan region, that's Ghana today. You guys don't know the tribes. The Akan come out of really Ghana. I guess you would say Togo and parts of Ivory Coast area. Go ahead, Joe.
Amid these international conflicts, children of war fueled by a fast-growing Atlantic economy. So I put that in here because these two individuals, when this uprising is not brought up, when it is brought up, you don't hear their names. You only hear one individual's name, and I will get to him. So this describes the climate and the population of New Orleans at this time. So when you're
going for a war, or what are you going to do, John?
Look at the end of the Haitian Revolution, what happens to the French and their sugar plantations? They leave. They come to New Orleans. And when they come to New Orleans, some of those Africans come with them. So these are people who are attuned and accustomed to war in their own homeland, and when those who came from Haiti and those who came from the Congo, etc. So I needed to put this here so you can get the background of these individuals. Let's keep moving. The 1811 uprising involved a wide diversity.
Be very safe because it's dangerous.
Of African peoples drawn from all over the Atlantic world and many different languages and nationalities. An inner circle of headmen was responsible for organizing Pacific communities into insurrectionary cells for recruitment, discipline, and solidarity. With the rewards for betraying a revolt extremely high, headmen like Cook and Kubin, extremely careful about when they spoke with. They had to be sure they could be trusted. In New York, headmen had focused on organizing within Pacific national groups. Slaves were not to open the conspiracy to any but those that were of their own country. Wrote a participant in the New York Revolt. Since they are brought from different parts of Africa, it might be supposed best to know the temper and disposition of each other. They addressed each other as countrymen and used a coded language to feel out of a slave's beliefs and politics. So, within inside of these communities in New Orleans, you'll see these same things.
Yes, I'm in Kenya, John.
Happen in New York, that they form according to their nationality and their origin, right? And they had to be secret because if you tell the wrong person, they were like, we have rats today and 6 9 running around.
Yeah,
there were 6 9 running
exactly.
around.
Yeah, you had six. If they told the wrong African, they would betray you, and that'd be your life. You was about to plan for revolution. So you had some bootlick. You told the wrong thing too. So he's telling you right there. At that time, we still knew what parts of Africa we came from, and since we didn't know you came from that part, we wouldn't fuck with you because we didn't know if you was good or not. See, this history is really good, as Joe be saying, because we wasn't as amalgamated as we thought we were, because we still carried some tribal shit, because we wouldn't trust you. That's the house from what they call, wouldn't call Ghana back then, but the Khan dynasty, the Khan. And then I meet somebody coming from the Congo Empire. I don't know that nigga. I don't know Congo. So I'm not fucking with him. See? But we didn't see, that's how intricate slavery was in America. To eventually, it didn't make no difference. We was all Negroes. All that tribal shit had to go by the wayside. We did that shit had to go. We all fucked up. We all getting beat, whipped, killed, raped. So, me being from the Congo and you being a Khan or you being Mandinka coming from Mali, what they call Mali today, and Niger and Burkina Faso area, or up there with Senegal, the Wolof, and the whatever, I forgot the name of the other tribe where Kunta Kinte came from. You know, that don't work no more. We all niggas getting fucked up now. So all that tribal shit got to go. Go ahead, Joby.
Around back then at that Pacific time. Now it says new recruits swore a war oath when they joined an insurrectionary cell. These military oaths were widespread across West Africa, invoked the primary powers of thunder and lightning to ensure utmost secrecy and a violent camaraderie. So I don't have to tell you about the Haitian revolt. I don't have to tell you about these things. You should be abreast. Now comes the individual who is the one who is said to organize.
You see, Kenyans think of themselves too highly. Okay. Yeah, we do. I mean, yeah.
This. His name is
Africans do.
Charles Dessalanius. So, who is this man? Charles Dessalanius was one of those slaves who were in tune with these meetings. A light-skinned black man who served as a slave driver, a member of the slave elite. Slave drivers were a notorious conservative group with a bad reputation as traitors to the slaves' cause. It is fair to say that these slaves intermediately linked who would fasten in some way the chain of servitude to that despotism and would find a malicious pleasure in overdoing others. So a slave driver is the guy who is running the plantation. He's the one that the master puts in charge.
He's a sellout Negro.
Knows everything about the master. So when you want to talk about the spook who sat by the door, this man, as you will get to learn, Charles Dessalanius, was the real spook who sat by the door.
Okay.
The black people
hated him. Okay, he was grabbing information, so he couldn't give his hand. He was getting information from the white man how to overthrow their hand. Yeah, but he couldn't make himself known that he was actually a good guy when we thought he was a bad guy helping the white man keep us enslaved and whip us and beat us and kill us and sell our babies off. Yeah, so that makes sense.
He's supervising whippings. He's providing all kind of laws or enforcing the master's laws. Nobody likes this guy. But let's keep reading about it. Charles Dessalanius had quickly risen up through the ranks, driven by ambition, success, and a light-skinned tone that made him seem more trustworthy than the many Africans reported into the area. Born on the Dessalanius plantation of the German coast, Charles served as the driver for the Spaniard Manuel Angie, a planter known for his cruelty toward his slaves. As driver, Charles served as Angie's right-hand man, running the day-to-day operations of the sugar plantation. So this guy is running everything. So when we spoke about these meetings and stuff that take place, Charles Dessalanius, because he is a slave driver, he has specific freedoms that the other slaves don't have, meaning he can go see his girlfriend. So he can go from plantation to plantation. The slave masters or of other plantations know exactly who he is, and he can maneuver. During these maneuverings is where these conspiracies or revolts or speeches take place, and here is one of them. So Charles met Kwame and another person named Harry. Says they met on Sunday in 1811. They came well armed for battle with a powerful set of revolutionary political ideas, well-honed skills, and a complex organization, prepared to attack as soon as they was given the word. And by all accounts, they gave their word that day. Thursday would be their moment to strike. On January 8th, 1811, they would turn the world upside down. Charles Dessalines laid out the plan and gave some final words of encouragement. Every man assembled knew that his presence meant a near certain death sentence if the revolt failed. No slave revolt in Louisiana had ever been successful, and the punishment of failed rebellion was clear: torture, decapitation, and one's head upon a pike. Yet the planters, distracted by the carnival and the American military fighting the Spanish past Baton Rouge, the slaves believed they just might have a chance. So in 1811, we know about the British and the Spanish and the American people all gearing up for war, because you hear about this 1811 revolt, and we showed you the Americans and where the black people are in that actual war as well. But while this is going on, you have carnival, and the people are having a good time and they're distracted. So these people were highly intelligent. Why they say they dealt with revolutionary ideas, like I said, some of those people came from Haiti there, and they were on sugar plantations there. Thus, they need sugar plantations in New Orleans, and they sent them there. But some of those people were actual fighters. They actually get caught with Pacific books on the Haitian revolutionary independence and things of that nature, if I recall. So here comes the sad day, the sad time. It says about 500 slaves rose up, caused considerable damage, and killed 2 white men. They were stopped after a rough battle. Dozens of slaves were executed and beheaded. The heads were planted on poles. The Whitney Museum has commissioned Woodrow Nas to create 63 ceramic heads depicting the revolutionaries, which will be mounted on steel rods along a pond. So what happens with Charles Dessalines, he goes into his master's room, him, Tab and the others, they go in there, they kill the master's son. They basically mutilate that guy. The other guy, he gets away. He jumps out the window. So while he's jumping out the window, they trying to chase him, they can't get him. So he alerts the other Europeans by, but those 3 individuals who lead this, Charles Dessalines, Kwame, and Cook, they split up in different directions, and they continue their march on down New Orleans. As they're marching down, the same as you heard in the 1739 Stonewall Rebellion, the same thing takes place there. People from different plantations, one was the John Brown, not the John Brown that revolutionary, but the John Brown plantation, joined these individual fighters, and they actually fought to the death. They fought to the death. So why is this considered, but only 2 white men being killed, the largest slave revolt here, because of the amount of slaves involved and the properties and stuff that were destroyed, and the way that it was organized and how they was trying to carry it out. But this is what happened. So let me see what's going on. So you need to have this in your brain. January 8th, 1811. Don't just think about what you see people posting, talking about Black Europeans and all this nonsense. Understand where you're at in the story, and understand that we have the real spook who sat by the door, Charles Dessalines. He was the real spook who sat by the door. These are your ancestors. These are your martyrs. So you saw me bring up the carnival, those festivals, Black brotherhoods, the names of these individuals. The documents in that book will show you their scarification that represent their tribes. There is no doubt who these people are, but you need to know this so that you can tell your own story. So let me look at the chat.
They
See, you
damn sure
don't
ain't no
know it.
goddamn
I
Indians.
see
How
your
about that?
motive.
They damn sure ain't no goddamn Indians, all these monsters. They damn sure ain't no Indians. They know they Africans. They know they fighting for freedom. They know what parts of Africa they still come from. You know, you have one of these morons on TikTok when he's like, they was Indians though. They didn't know they was Indians. All right, Goofy. All right, shut the fuck up.
But I won't finish the rest of the video. It's like a guy was doing the show because it took me time to actually get this information. Like he explains a bunch of information you look outside there, because most of the videos I was looking, it is just white people, and I was able to understand from the lies they're just lying. It is crazy to see white people are the ones embracing this historical day to day, which happened today, few years, years ago. While we black people were the ones involved in it majority. Like we having the white man telling our narrative, our history, instead of us taking and owning it. And that is
A lot
why
of them
it is
a lot of us don't know about that history. I didn't know about none of that shit, Joey. you just educated me. I didn't know nothing about that shit. Hey, did you guys know about that? I ain't never heard none of that shit at all. Ever, Joey. Ever.
I asked people on the chat if they knew at the beginning, but I think right now most of the people are online. So I'd love to know how many of you knew of the history of today, even the 8th of January in 1811, we had
That's 200 years ago. Let me see, anybody in the chat room who knew that history there? I never knew it. I always try to be honest. Joby just taught me something today. And these Africans in America, I know nothing about that at all. How many of you guys know about this history?
Yeah, so that's the link over there. I've shared the link for those who have been requesting for us to share the rest of the links of the video. We're not able to finish, but you can catch up the rest of the information.
They don't ever want to tell us no history, Joby, where we fight, and we got to fight these people and win. They don't want to ever tell you nothing about that.
Yeah, because when I was looking at the video, you know the truth is hidden when a video is limited in numbers. So I went and looked at the video deep, and I saw it was a show of 2 hours. So when I was cooking, I took my time listening and all that, and I was like, I really love his explanation rather than the white man explaining, because the white man is giving it in a narrative of where them being favored and where they were attacked. But where do you involve?
They were attacked because you had people enslaved. That you're talking about. That's a psychopathic white people. You're supposed to be attacked. You got people in bondage, beating, whipping, raping them. We were attacked by these filthy niggas. Oh my God. It was wrong. They attacked us. Not the fact that you had them enslaved, beating them, whipping and raping them. That's not wrong. But the idea that these Negroes decided to fight back and get free, Joby. How dare these dirty niggas? How dare them?
It is crazy. It is crazy. But shout out to you, Hilanoa. Hi to you too. Shout out to you, John. You're saying that where is Stacy? Who's Stacy? Who's Stacy? I don't know what you're talking about. And who is Stacy? I know no one in my life known by Stacy, but anyway, the Blackout Fire Network, not Stacy.
Maybe he knows you from another life. You were Stacy.
No. A relative by the name Stacy, man. We are complicated. Spare me with Stacy. Let me go to the comments very quickly before I get to wind up, family. And I hope you can catch the rest of the video and learn a thing or two, because you also have fellow black people who are on that show trying to understand what really happened there. It's a really good conversation. And you can finish up the rest of it. I played 30 minutes of it. You can finish the rest of the 1 hour, 30 minutes if you get your time. Yeah. But I see KW Don in the building. He says that
I'm going to look it up.
He says that the protocols of the learned elders of Zion hearts, aims, and objectives. And I also see Jiba Jabba says, speaking on sterilization, that the sterilization has occurred for years. They are the program.
In America, everywhere they go, they try to sterilize us. We were sterilized here in America, black women without their knowledge. Kenya, Nigeria, in Israel, same people do it, same shit, over and over again. That's why you know it's not an accident. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, the name of the book Jiba Jaba is called, let me get that again. It's called America Uprising, The Untold Story of America's Largest Slave Revolt by Daniel Hutchinson.
And the subtitle is These Filthy Negroes Attack White People.
Thanks for the right man, Dad, because I had to go all the way to YouTube. I'm like, it's only white people telling us this history all the time. You always lying about something, so I'm not gonna listen if it's not a black man explaining or a woman. And I also see you're saying that we aren't taught this because it is inspiring. Yes, it is true. Because I was seeing actually from the comments of majority of the people, they also say that this is a history that is not told actually even in America itself, you know, leave alone even in the world. Like majority of the
that's
people
never told. Exactly right. That history not told in America, Joey. We in America don't know shit about that because you're not supposed to know. You Negroes trying to fight this white man for your freedom. We're not taught that in no school, Joey. I told you, we just ignorant. Our history today teach you. But when you tried to fight this white man?
Crazy. But I also see Daniel Harrison says that the French Quarter was originally named the Slave Quarter. And also saying that that's where they met up at. That's what he's talking about. Yes, he has a very good... I love the way he's also breaking down his points and everything. I also see you saying that under a boot, all that is the same. And... yeah, those are all the comments. I also see you saying that I knew about that back in high school. Okay, that's you, Danny Harrison. Shout out to you. You knew about it in high school? Damn. Okay. These okay, that's nice. That's nice. Sorry,
that Negro from Mississippi, he didn't know about no damn that, no I come from no damn Mississippi. He don't get out of here with that shit. He's a Joey. He's from the same city where they buried black people in the backyard of the police station.
He said he knows. So it's your buddy, but he said he knows. So
he lying, Joey. He ain't learn that from no Mississippi school. Get out of here.
But anyway, shout out to you, John. Thank you so much for following the host. But we are coming towards the end of today's show. I see Jiba Jaba says at least he didn't call you Becky. I mean, with a good hair? Nah, I don't want that. Nah, I don't want to be Becky. I'm great.
Becky with the animal hair. Watch out.
With a good hair. The end of today's show, and of course hope you guys have enjoyed the conversation. See you guys tomorrow same time. Remember, every Tuesday and Thursday we're not here for the Africa Today show, but on the radio and on TikTok for the culture show with Kamlesh and Dai every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
If you guys don't go on TikTok, okay, understand, let me get it right time in America. Joey's doing a Kenyan time. In America, if you're on the East Coast, that's from 12 to 2. Go to the radio station and just push the play button, right? You'll hear them. If you're in the Central Time, it's 11 to 1. Pacific Time, that's what, 9 o'clock. If you're in California or Pacific Time like George Guy and Jason, that's 9 o'clock in the morning. That's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It'll be 8 o'clock at night for them, but 9 o'clock in the morning for you if you're in California. So it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you don't do TikTok, just come to the radio station. And you got the chat room there. You can talk to them in the chat room there and do your request there.
Yep, we have amazing conversation, adult conversation, not political. So tune in and have a good discussion with us. I see Danny Harrison adds that he had some good teachers and he also did a little bit of research. That's good of you. And I also see Jiba Jaba tells me to enjoy my ugali. Apparently I've already eaten, so I'm just gonna take my makeup off and just jump to bed because I knew if I finish late, I knew because I was well prepared for the show, and I knew if I finish late, I'm not gonna be able to cook. So I cooked before starting the show. So I'm full. I'm just gonna wash my makeup off and of course just lay down and rest. But shout out to you, DJ Tricks. Hello to you too. And John Mosquito says that did you say white people are liars? Not white people. Not white people. That is John Mosquito. Yep, that is what Keith said. But anyway, family, you're still saying question, Keith, full collapse coming 2024 or 2025? That is a question.
I'm hoping. I need the collapse not to happen to like 2028. I plan to be in Africa by 2027 permanently. So I probably won't even take no vacation to Africa. I need to work as hard as I can. So when I just leave here, be leaving here for good. Because Jack, when it collapsed, and now everybody, when I said it 2 years ago, I was the nut that everybody knows that they're headed for the collapse of this country. That's just the fact. That's just the fact. Legal aliens, everybody broke, can't nobody pay for nothing no more. We struggling. That's all right. Mama Africa. I need that story Joey told me just now. Because those people knew they were still from the African continent. They united African people from different parts of Africa and tried to fight this white man, even though they, were messed up that once the white man got away and jumped out the window. They should have had a gun and did what they need to do before he jumped out that damn window. That's why they got found out. He got away. But, hey, family, I'm not living in no little tiny house. I'm going to Africa and build me a big house. I'm going to be an Mbaba. God damn it. That's right.
That's great.
Africa, I can have 3 or 4 wives. And it's not against the law.
You should be sharing those links of the amazing houses you find in Kenya on WhatsApp chat and let people see what
I will.
And we have amazing houses you can invest on. We have lands. We have a lot. We have a lot.
There's land. You have Africa. Africa has land, houses, and beautiful women. No matter where you go. Whether you're in Kenya, South Africa, there's good food that's not GMO. You got 1,000 Jobies over there. You can knock in their head. Get my dinner, goddammit.
No. We're not being California people on the streets, But anyway, as I tell you so much again, have an amazing, beautiful day, and of course, see you guys tomorrow once again. Much love.
Peace,
Much
family.
love to you. Be careful, and of course, have an amazing day.
Right.